They're fairly rare in Australia, but they do happen. Each year you'll get a few tornadoes here and there.
What are the conditions that are needed to create a tornado?
Basically, what you have at the moment is perfect because you've got a low-level infeed of moisture and heat. Well, not too much heating, but compared to the upper levels, which is very, very cold, minus 2,500. So that cold air allows for lifting. But what you've also got is very, very strong wind shear, which is strong winds aloft. That wind shear helps spin storms into what we call supercells. If you can get that spinning down to the ground, and you'll get a tornado.
And so we're seeing pictures of what happened in the Central West of New South Wales today. What are your impressions of this tornado?
That's quite significant for Australian conditions. And what I saw some of the footage earlier. It's fairly long-lived too. It's some of these tornadoes can only last for seconds or maybe 15, 20 seconds. This one lasts for quite a few minutes. So it's fairly significant. The damage seems to indicate that as well.
How scary would it have been for residents there?
For people that don't really understand what's going on and the unpredictable nature of it, it would be fairly daunting for them. For storm chasers, we obviously position ourselves in relation to the thunderstorm. We understand what's going on. At the same time, you've got to take the precautions, but yes, it would be quite scary for those people, and you can see the damage is quite significant there.
Do you know anyone in the storm chasing community who was there?
Fortunately, with the lockdowns, we couldn't chase today, so we were stuck inside our LGAs, but otherwise we would have been out there and chasing, but I'm not quite sure if anyone was out there, no. You'd have to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, so say if we weren't in lockdown, would people have known that this area might have been susceptible to an event like this?
It was the area where there was a fair bit of instability, but this is what we call an atmospheric accident. There could be a boundary that maybe another storm drops some winds and localised in that area. It's just a freak event of nature in that area. Everything came together at that point in time. So in the US, when I chase tornadoes there, you can actually sometimes predict the right conditions for strong to violent tornadoes, but you'd have to be in the right place. Just over 10 years ago, I was in the right place at the right time and got a tornado up in northern New South Wales. So, and again, I wasn't predicting it, but it was the right conditions, and it happened right within 300 metres of where I was.
And so when you experienced that tornado, did it leave a 30-kilometre trail of destruction, which is the reports that we're getting from today's tornado?
Sorry, what was that? It looks like it was fairly long-lived, yes.
Yeah, so the reports today are that there was a 30-kilometre trail of destruction that the tornado left in its wake. Is that what you experienced in northern New South Wales 10 years ago when you saw that tornado?
The one up there I think I got was around about 14 kilometres, but still that's fairly long-lived. Both of them are fairly long-lived, but that 30 kilometres. And also the conditions, the storm was moving quite rapidly today. So as they move rapidly, the tornado moves with it. So that creates longer paths, but that's still fairly significant for Australian conditions.
You mentioned you've been a storm chaser in the US, so does that mean you've been to Tornado Alley?
Absolutely, yes. I've seen over 50 tornadoes whilst over there over the last 12 or 13 years. The most significant would have been the one in El Reno, which is west of Oklahoma City, and that was the widest tornado in history.
How did that measure?
That one was about 4.2 kilometres wide at the base, which was quite. It was a giant. It was a record breaker, and that one was on the ground, to give you an idea, for about 60 or 70, or maybe even 80 kilometres, and was on the ground for 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh! I'm
Yes.
I'm aghast thinking of a tornado of that size.